Previously on the Youth Leadership Debate.
In the northern part of Nigeria, who are child brides or who were married as child brides? Why do we have incessant cases of child abuse and vesico vaginal fistula in the northern part of Nigeria and even Nigeria at large? Why is Nigeria still leading in the scene of child marriage in the world?
In the principle of application of law in Nigeria, there is a term we call hierarchy. And that hierarchy shows that the Nigerian Constitution comes first, followed by the legislations, which include this Child Rights Act we were talking about, the judicial predecessors, customary law, Islamic law, and received English law. Now,
foundation and a form of gender-based violence that robs children of their ability and right to make decisions about their lives and disrupt their education.
The Youth Leadership Debate is a program that provides the platform for young people to use their voices and knowledge to drive conversations for national development. It is an initiative of the Nigeria Youth Futures Fund, NYFF, implemented by Leap Africa in collaboration with the MacArthur Foundation and the Ford Foundation. The 2022 Youth Leadership Debates also aims to give confidence to the voice of young people and leveraging on it as an effective tool to cause a transformed Nigeria. Its goal is to provide capacity building to young people across tertiary institutions and support them to critically evaluate information, advocate from the point of knowledge, and to collectively shape their future of Nigeria. The conversations led on the platform of the Youth Leadership Debate goes on to equip the contestants with needed knowledge to be active citizens leading a change. The NSAS protest of 2020 showed that young people can speak with one voice and cause a change. The Sorosoke movement, which means to speak up in Yoruba language, a ripple effect of young Nigerians' resistance to police brutality through the NSAS protest, was an eye-opener for government, the youth, and development agencies. Now, while it is important to encourage young people to Sorosoke, they must be guided to do it the right way. More so, institutions of higher learning have a leading role in providing solutions to the myriad of challenges facing society, cutting-edge research and innovative activities. Universities are places where young people are equipped to engage in intellectual debates that have national relevance and to provide solutions to socio-economic issues. So, Leap Africa, through the Youth Leadership Development Programs, build the capacity of young Nigerians in leadership and active participation in the nation's affairs, helping to shape the country's future for long-term development. Day one of the first elimination stage saw a few winners and those who had to say goodbye to the competition. There was a lifeline, however, for representatives of Ekiti State University and Kaduna State University who had to settle for a tie. In other contests, Babcock University progressed to the next stage, having surmounted the hurdle presented to them by the representatives of Federal University of Technology, Akure. The judges found University of Benin worthy of progression over the contestants from Bayero University, Kano, while the contestants from Tai Solarin University of Education scored more points than their University of Nigeria counterparts. On this episode of the program, we will show you the highlights of the remaining encounters in the first elimination rounds, where the representatives of more Nigerian universities took to the podium to give their arguments in proposition and opposition of the various topics assigned to them. But before then, let's meet the judges on day 2 and hear their expectations from the contestants.
And I'm really looking forward to some, from sparks to sparks. And I encourage the young people to, come with your A game, And don't just see this about a debate. It's a learning process for everybody. And that's one of the things I also want to encourage you. Don't just say you're debating. Learn through the process and be the best you can be. Thank you.
We have screened these debates, the video submissions, and we really have very, very brilliant people that will be coming today that I'm very sure of. So I think this is just going to really, really exhilarate all of my senses. I'm really here to have fun.
Good grasp of the topic, excellent arguments, and well, going by the first round, I'm really expecting some fire, heat, really like Chika mentioned earlier. Thank you.
Our first bothers on the issue of policing. In 2020, the Nigerian police force was at the center of perhaps the strongest youth rebellion the country has ever seen. The Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS, a unit of the NPF, faced countless accusations from young people, most of them bordering on police brutality. The NSARS protest led to some reforms in the NPF and the eventual disbandment of SARS. The NPF has since faced other challenges, and notable is the issue of kidnapping and banditry that continues to threaten the peace and security of the country. Now, contestants from the University of Calabar and Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University have to go head-to-head in proposition and in opposition of the topic, is state policing a panacea to lasting peace in Nigeria? Daniel Achabi, representing Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, speaking in proposition of the topic, highlighted the challenges of having a central control of the police rather than giving autonomy of policing to the states. According to him, police officers that come from a different area sometimes need the time to understand their areas of assignment before they are able to prefer solutions to the endemic security challenges.
We have issues in our country today where police officers are posted from different locality to a different state where they have no idea about what's happening there. Now, when they get to that locality, it has to take them time to understand the various areas, the various peculiarities of security issues related to that issue. But once we have a state police intact in every nation, they have the ability to have a good knowledge about what's happening around the locality.
The lead speaker from the University of Calabar, speaking in opposition to the topic, argued that poor emolument and inadequate equipment are the factors militating against effective and efficient policing in Nigeria.
To analyze is the root cause of police failure in status quo and the problem-solution mismatch with state policing. By November 2020 publication by Premium Times NG, it was shown that poor remuneration, inadequate welfare packages, lack of modern equipment, tech and hardware to combat crime, poor intelligence gathering are huge setbacks to the Nigerian police force. In addition, lack of transparency in leadership, which breeds corruption that further trickles into cut corners in training and discipline, are the fundamental root cause problems of the Nigerian police force. The impact of this argument is that the problems with policing in status quo are systemic issues not attributable to their being state or federal police structure. But more importantly, is that the policy of state policing only exacerbates and increases the already corrupt system. This is a problem-solution mismatch which we firmly contend from opposition.
In his submission, the second speaker from the University of Calabar emphasized systemic corruption as one of the biggest challenges of the police.
If there is need for a state government to take action urgently, he can work with the state commissioner of police. That action doesn't need to be vetted by Abuja, right? So we think that the issue of prompt response is not really realistic because we already have checks and balances within our system to ensure that prompt response comes along. Second thing, notice how they do not engage what my first speaker talks about corruption, right? My first speaker does a lot of citation on how the issues within the Nigerian police is largely an issue of corruption, right? Because they suffer from poor remuneration, inadequate welfare packages, lack of modern equipment, poor intelligence gathering, etc. Meanwhile, the budget for the police as of 2021, about 547.7 billion naira was approved for the police force, right? So we see that the money is available, but the money is not producing results. This means that a lot of corruption is affecting the ability of the force to impact positively within societies.
Now, Gabriel, the second speaker from Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, argued that the diversity of Nigeria makes it pertinent to have people from a locality police their area, as that is more likely to bring about better results.
Policing is the ability of the Nigerian police force and its community to work interpersonal relationships where we share vital information together and vital communication tools together where we safeguard ourselves and lives and property. I would like to speak on active communication and relation with communities in crisis. A real-time response, ability of the local police to act promptly in rising and life-threatening situations in our environment.
The beauty of the youth leadership debate transcends just the competitiveness of the contestants, but it creates a platform for conversations on issues of societal importance that are often regulated to background socio-economic development. Our next highlight features contestants from the University of Ilorin scoring up against their counterparts from Adekunle Ajasin University. The topic of discourse is Nigeria's adoption of net zero policy by the year 2050. Here's Davida Paul, the lead speaker from the University of Ilorin in proposition for Nigeria's adoption of net zero policy on carbon emission.
It's important to note that the world we live in right now is completely deplorable, and it is even worse off for Africa, who uniquely and disproportionately suffers from the effects of climate change. More than anything, panel, we are doing this for us, for the people who live on the Lagos Island where the rainy season can be likened to the biblical days of Noah and the ark where flood destroyed humankind. We are doing this for the sustainability of future generations. Please vote proposition. We think, primarily, on the first principle, that it is important to recognize that the battle of climate change cannot be fought individually. It is a global issue that requires a communitarian effort, and this is super important because what opposition is going to tell you is to say, oh, maybe we want nationalistic policies. We think at all points in time that we must recognize that climate change affects us all, and the only way we're able to completely succeed in this battle is by making certain that we collaborate with others.
On the other hand, Ololade Aderibigbe, the lead speaker from Adekunle Ajasin University, was swift to argue in opposition of the topic, not even resisting the chance to make a rebuttal of her opponent's claims.
I want you to know that we will be looking at two major reasons why Nigeria should not adopt a net zero policy in the country. Now, it is to know that the BECSS, often known as the bioenergy carbon capture and storage method, is one of the most proposed efficient methods in attaining a net zero emission policy. But this is not attainable or even not feasible or not practicable in Nigeria today. Also, the economic condition of Nigeria at present cannot even afford the cost of the BECC project in pursuing or attaining a net zero policy.
Now, things got more interesting as Halimat Usman, the second speaker from the University of Ilorin, responded to their opponent's rebuttal to rebuild the points of her lead speaker.
They say cost is a very big issue, and we're unlikely to achieve this in 2050 because it is very costly. If you listen to Davida's argument, and this is obviously going to come as a point of rebuilding also, Davida already told you that you're able to get alliances and partnerships at a point when you ally with these particular other countries who obviously are also looking towards achieving the net zero policy in 2050. This looks like you particularly engaging with China, who obviously at this point in time has the economic resources to be able to support you. It's untrue that you're not likely to have China's support because we've had that in the past. With the BRI initiative, the Belt and Road Initiative, you had China particularly giving natural resources, building ports in countries like Sri Lanka, South Africa, and even Nigeria. Because of these precedents, we're likely going to have it that even within status quo, at the point where we particularly engage with these countries and we ally, of course, when we have these alliances, we're likely going to have the cost offset by these particular countries because they also know that climate change is not a one-man thing. We're obviously going to need help to be able to achieve it.
And yet another twist to the discussion as Idoko John, the second speaker from AAUA, raised concerns over the ability of the net zero policy to prevent climate change, given that there are other non-human natural factors that contribute significantly to carbon emission.
But let me come by saying that what if the whole world is fighting a cause that can never produce anything than fertility? Okay, long before the advent of the awareness of the United States in June 1988 state meeting, where they started having insight about what's happening about the global warming. Some scientists like Eunice Fort, John Tider, and Joseph Foner have come to tell us, and by extension, tell us the properties of the absorption of carbon dioxide. What are the properties that carbon dioxide has? And they have told us that it's of two factors. So we are considering only the human factor, but I want us to know that there are anthropological factor and then there are also natural factors. When we're talking about the natural factors, we are talking about volcanic eruption, we are talking about oscillation and all that sources that are just natural, and then nothing could be done from the human standpoint. So why are we fighting a cause that cannot be achieved by taking the policy of net zero policy in the year 2050.
If the judges wanted some spark, this set of contestants came with some fire. Here's the judges' reactions.
I think it was a great showing from both the University of Ilorin and the Adekunle Ajasi University, and I say congratulations to both teams and please let's keep this up. Let's keep this up.
Your point, each person's point, I think was well elaborated. Good use of rebuttals, good submissions of the argument. And truly, this is also going to be another tough one. So whoever wins out of this, I need the other ones to know that it was also keenly contested.
Modern technology is currently laying the foundation for the ruins of human interactions. Yay or nay? That's the bone of contention between contestants from Gregory University and the University of Abuja. Testimony Akinkumi, the lead speaker for the University of Abuja, and speaking in proposition, highlighted data breach by social network platforms result in issues like phishing and security compromise.
According to the Center for International Governance Innovation, nearly 50% of internet users do not trust the internet and its contents. And this is as a result of continual expose, links, and confessions about how our data are being used. In comparison, if my friend and I have a face-to-face discussion, the privacy of whatever I will do is safe. I will not be victim of phishing or hacking or any other means of privacy attack. And our philosophers say, without trust, it's impossible for any society to function properly. Modern technology, despite promises of encryption, anonymity, and no tracking policy, have a high risk of data breach. According to the 2021 Tech Republic report, a full 86% of respondents had concerns about data privacy and couldn't trust that the data will be ethically used. In fact, the sociocultural concept of communication has become dilapidated and ruined. With modern technology, the system of communication that has promoted order and growth over centuries is being ridiculed.
In her argument, Enoch Gift, the lead speaker for Gregory University, cited global connectivity as one of the benefits of technology to humans.
As of July 2020, 59% of the global population were active internet users. Technology is more than an abstract concept. It is associated with advanced tools and systems used by businesses and end users for convenience, automation automation of complex tasks. There is no denying that the internet has a positive impact on human communication. Compared to pre-internet times, we are now more connected than ever before. Technology has positively affected social interactions through the following ways. First, faster and easy communication. Communication, transportation, and interactions with others are faster than ever with the advent of airplanes, trains, buses, mobile phones, and even social media platforms.
After the presentations from both sides, of course, comes the judges.
Thank you to our debaters. I also thoroughly enjoyed that debate. I thought it was very engaging. I thought it was very well argued. For University of Abuja, who was a proponent, I felt you were clear in your position. You had good arguments. I felt your arguments came across as a bit more personal and a bit more passionate. But overall, very well done. Just one thing I would say, maybe sometimes conflating issues. I think when you started the first speaker, your arguments were geared more towards privacy, and then you brought up the issue of health issues relating to to modern technology, which is a little bit outside of the topic of social interaction. But overall, I thought you did a very good job putting across your position. And for University of Gregory, I thought you had very good rebuttal arguments. You presented them very well. You came across as more objective in your debate, which for me personally was maybe more convincing because it came across as an objective position that you were putting across and less of a personal one. Very well done rebutting the arguments, and your presentation style, both teams, I thought was great.
Once again, I found this very engaging. I could see the connections that the participants made with the audience, and that's a very good one. I think my only feedback would be working on structure. Don't try to say too much. Sometimes you have very limited time to deliver your points. So I would say maybe place your arguments within like a team, and then address that theme. So I would say don't try to say too much, but logically present your point. It's better to say two things in a clear and logical framework than saying everything or saying too many things. And maybe if it's worth, you can basically tell the judges from the start that I would address 2 points or 3 lines of this and this is my first point, my second point, my third point. But otherwise, I think that this was a very good round, and well done to all the participants.
At the end of proceedings on day 2, which was the continuation of the first round of elimination series, here is moderator Bernard announcing the names of schools that have advanced to the next round.
Now, going over the winners from each round again. Round 8, University of Calabar. Round 9, Nnamdi Azikiwe University. Round 10, University of Ilorin. Round 11, Federal University of Technology, Minna. Round 12, University of Jos. Round 13, Gregory University. And round 14, University of Ibadan. Those are the winners for these rounds.
On the next episode of the program, we will bring you highlights from the quarterfinal encounters, where we expect events to be more heated up as the competition for places becomes stronger. Who will make it to the next round and whose journey will come to an end? Find out on the next episode. 2 teams will move closer to getting the 1.5 million naira top prize with some other juicy benefits. But who are the 2 teams? More interestingly, they will get the opportunity to do it on one of the biggest stages of public discourse in Nigeria, the platform. The second placed team will not leave empty-handed. They will be given 1 million naira with other benefits, and the third placed team also gets 600,000 naira with other benefits included. The Youth Leadership Debate is an initiative of the Nigeria Youth Futures Fund (NYFF), implemented by Leap Africa and funded by the MacArthur Foundation and the Ford Foundation. If you'd like to know more about their operations, kindly visit their website on www.leapafrica.org.